The NFL draft just about a month away now. It's the best time of the year for us Patriots fans because it gives us any kind of hope, which we're not getting when they're playing actual football games. Now, the hot name, of course, right now for the Patriots at number 4 is Travis Hunter. All the mock drafts are saying it looks like he's going to be available. It was not a guarantee last month. It's technically not a guarantee right now, but everything is pointing to 2 quarterbacks going in the top 3 so that Travis Hunter will be available. But that said, there is a pretty real possibility that he's not available, that, the Giants at 3 are like, maybe we'll wait another year on the franchise quarterback. This Shedeur Sanders guy's not selling us. We're going to take Travis Hunter. And so if that's the case, the Patriots, I don't want to say are in a world of hurt, but have a lot of decisions to make, probably trading back. But when asked about this on the Pat McAfee show yesterday, NFL draft expert Daniel Jeremiah said that the Patriots might even look in a different direction at number 4. Elliot Wolf was saying best player available. Here's who Daniel Jeremiah thinks they should get at the number 4 overall pick in the draft.
Yeah, I would say it if you don't get Abdul Carter or Travis Hunter, I would add a little line to the end of best available. I would say best available player that can help your quarterback. So I would be looking on the offensive side of the ball, and Ashton Jeanty, I have him as I think the number 3 player in the draft. So if you just go on pure best available player, it'd be Jeanty, and if you're obviously looking on the offensive side of the ball, he's he would be the guy there from the offensive side of the ball standpoint. Yeah. So I just feel like that's got to help. Unless you can get Abdul Carter, like somehow Abdul Carter gets there, I get it. But man, like if you draft Travis Hunter, you play him at receiver. He helps Drake May. This first pick after a defensive heavy free agency, it just feels like, man, this has got to be a pick that's going to help Drake May.
Ashton Jeanty at number 4 overall, running back. Not exactly the position that you thought the Patriots would attack in the top 5 of the NFL draft. Mainly because, A, they're paying a franchise running back, although I think that kind of moniker is up for debate with Ramondre Stevenson. And B, because not a lot of teams are taking running backs with picks of that kind of premium. Like that is a dying art, a dead art, really, in the NFL of the late 2010s and the early 2020s, now midway through the 2020s. It's been 7 years since we've had a running back taken in the top 5. And if you're looking at the last 5 running backs to be taken in the top 5, it takes you all the way back to 2008. So let's look at Ashton Jeanty first and foremost. The kid is a heck of a football player, truly. I mean, obviously was the runner-up for the Heisman Trophy last year, takes a group of 5 conference team in Boise State to the college football playoff, and deservedly so. And he was a monster. Man, like he was genuinely a treat to watch. He goes over 2,600 yards, breaking all kinds of records, breaking the Barry Sanders record with some extra games to do it. In 29 touchdowns, 7 yards a carry, carved up some good teams as well, carved up Oregon when they were number 1 in the country. There is a lot to be optimistic about with Ashton Jeanty. But when you look at the track record of taking running backs in the top 5 of recent memory, it's really hit or miss. Let's go back to that list here of the last 5 running backs taken in the top 5. You have Saquon Barkley, number 2 overall in 2018. I'd say that's a pretty good pick, but we'll get to him in a second. Leonard Fournette at number 4 overall in 2017. Let's call that one a miss. Zeke Elliott, number 4 overall in 2016. Okay. Patriots legend, a decent career for himself. Definitely put the Cowboys in a better position. Trent Richardson, number 3 overall in 2012. I'd call that one a miss, to put it quite lightly. One of the great busts of all time. And then you got to go all the way back to 2008 to get to number 5, and that was Darren McFadden, taken number 4 overall. Darren McFadden, nice player, nice career. Didn't win anything. Didn't win any kind of awards, didn't go to a Super Bowl or anything like that. Nice career. Out of those 5 guys, they combined for 2 All-Pros, 6 Pro Bowls, 1 Offensive Player of the Year, 2 Rookie of the Year awards, and 2 Super Bowls. Now, of all the individual awards, it's made up of course, Saquon Barkley and Zeke Elliott. Saquon Barkley has won a Super Bowl. Leonard Fournette won the other Super Bowl. And it probably helped that Tom Brady was his quarterback. Probably helped just a little bit. And so looking at Ashton Jeanty, this is a big risk at 4. As much as I like the kid and loves watching him in college, that's as much a risk at pick number 4 as someone like Ted McMillan is, and maybe even as much as someone like Will Campbell is. And Daniel Jeremiah makes a good point in there of, you went so defense heavy in free agency that it would be weird for the Patriots to not help Drake May with this premium pick. Like, if they're not going to help him in free agency with all the cap space that they have, like, they might as well help him with the number 4 pick in the draft. Now, if Abdul Carter, and I think he says this in there, if Abdul Carter's there, you take him. That's no question. But outside of that, you're probably looking at offense, and that includes Travis Hunter. And so if neither of these guys are available, I do think you can trade back and get a good offensive player or a foundational defensive player, which I know we need some help for Drake May here, but I'd rather you get the best player with this pick, like Elliot Wolf has said. But according to Daniel Jeremiah, that next best player is Ashton Jeanty. He said he's got him as the number 3 rated player in the entire draft. But there is something that bugs me about Ashton Jeanty, because the talent is undeniable. The numbers he racked up in college are undeniable. But one of the big cons on him is his pass protection. And you have the worst pass protection of the guys who are actually supposed to, are paid to pass protect in the entire league. You have the worst offensive line. It hasn't gotten much better. Morgan Moses, okay, fine. It's gotten marginally better. And you're going to have Ashton Jeanty out there, who is a 3-down back, it would seem, and he struggles at pass protection. Okay, that's not what I like to hear. The other thing that I really don't like, Ashton Jeanty, 5'9", 215 pounds. Last year at Boise State, he carried the rock 374 times. That's a lot of hits. And one of the other cons in his scouting reports is that he takes too many hits. He needs to go out of bounds more. He needs to stop absorbing contact so much. It's lovely for fans to watch until he's washed up in 3 years. Because you look at the other running backs that were taken in those top 5 slots. Like the career high in college for these guys in carries. Saquon Barkley never had more than 272. Jeanty had 102 more carries than that this past year. Zeke Elliott, career high, 289. Trent Richardson, 283. Darren McFadden is the closest one. Darren McFadden had 325 his senior year, and he was the decorated running back, right? 2-time All-American, SEC Player of the Year, runner-up to the Heisman Trophy, just like Ashton Jeanty was. And the year before he had 325 carries, he had 284. So both of those years, he had more carries than Saquon Barkley's career high in college. And for his career, Darren McFadden in college at the University of Arkansas toted the rock 785 times. Ashton Jeanty was 750. Saquon Barkley well in the rear at 671. So what I'm trying to say here is Ashton Jeanty is a heck of a player. He doesn't have the top-line explosiveness that Saquon Barkley has. He's a lot closer to Darren McFadden, which is a great college player. But when you're talking about a guy that you're going to take a top 5 pick on, and I'm telling you, he's a lot more like Darren McFadden than he is Saquon Barkley, I think you'd be crazy to be taking that guy at number 4 overall. I think you'd be nuts. I think it'd be malpractice. It would be very exciting for the Patriots fans in the short term. But if you're telling me you're going to draft Darren McFadden, number 4 overall, I'm taking my chances on somebody else and trading back. If you really want to focus on offense that bad, let's trade back and see where we can get Tyler Warren. Because I'm not seeing it, and that's a lot of wear and tear on the body. McFadden had a nice career, by the way. He had a 10-year career, which is better than most NFL running backs. Certainly better than Trent Richardson. But he was not a difference maker. And the other thing, too, is let's just play it out for argument's sake that he is closer to Saquon Barkley, the last running back that was taken in the top 5. And that has certainly panned out. Offensive Player of the Year this year, won the Super Bowl. A lot of people thought he should have been the MVP. Lest we forget, those first 6 years with the Giants, he did nothing of serious note because the team sucked so bad and they did nothing. Saquon is a top 5 or 6 player in the league right now. Don't get me wrong, but he didn't elevate that team. That team sucked. And that team, that Giants team he went to, is pretty close to what the Patriots are dealing with right now. Drake May can elevate them. Travis Hunter can probably elevate them. Abdul Carter can definitely elevate them as an anchor on the defensive side. I don't think Ashton Jeanty can. So it would be nice to say, best case scenario, he's Saquon Barkley. But Saquon Barkley for 6 years was just wallowing in the wilderness because the Giants were awful. But that's what the Patriots are dealing with right now. And for Daniel Jeremiah to say he's like the best guy that he's got, third best player that he's got in the big board, that doesn't exactly line up with how some of the other scouting services and analyst services, I guess, are comparing him. NFL.com is comparing him to LaDainian Tomlinson. That's his comp. Another guy who's taken very high up in the draft. I would take a LaDainian Tomlinson. I'll take him in the top 5 for sure. But the other ones, Bleacher Report has him comped to D'Angelo Williams. You taking him in the top 5? How about CBS? They said he's got the body of Alfred Morris, but he's more likely to be a compact Steven Jackson. Would you take either of those guys in the top 5? I wouldn't. So Ashton Jeanty is a sexy name, and someone might get him at a bargain pick in terms of the first couple of years of his career. But signs are pointing to he's not a franchise running back that's going to elevate a team year after year, the way that Saquon Barkley will for the Philadelphia Eagles. It's not an even playing field. That's not what the Patriots are dealing with here. So I think it would be crazy to take Ashton Jeanty in the top 5. When I first heard the name, I'm like, okay, I'm here for it. Drake May gets a weapon, so to speak, not one that he's throwing to, but I would much rather take a receiver that's going to help Drake May rather than a running back in Ashton Jeanty who's going to help Drake May. I don't love a 5'9" guy carrying the ball 374 times last year and saying, yeah, he's going to be our franchise running back year after year. And the other thing, the biggest elephant in the room, the reason why you have to go all the way back to 2008 to get the last 5 running backs taken in the top 5 is because the franchise running back is an oxymoron these days. Like Saquon Barkley is the franchise running back for the Philadelphia Eagles. They also have 2 potential franchise wide receivers, and they have a franchise quarterback, and they have a franchise front 7. Okay, Saquon Barkley is far from the only skilled player on that team, and that's why they're very good. So no, I am against Ashton Jeanty going number 4 overall to the Patriots, even if Travis Hunter and Abdul Carter are gone. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. No Carter, no Hunter. Who are you going to for the Patriots at number 4? Let me know in the comments below. Be sure to like and subscribe. It helps out the channel a lot. And guys, if you ring that notification bell, you'll get notified every time we're going live. We are here high noon Eastern time every weekday, and then wherever you get your podcasts with the segments going out on YouTube as well, talking nothing but Boston sports. So check out the channel. I'm your host, Cam Stewart, and we will be back every weekday, high noon Eastern time, and then wherever you get your podcasts.